Hey there, posture guys and gals, and welcome back to the show. As always, I'm your host, Justin Archer, aka the Posture Guy, your #1 source on pain, posture, and performance. And today, we're going to be going over what you can do to sleep better and be pain-free. Because I truly believe that the two go together hand in hand, and that it's very difficult, if not impossible, to lead a pain-free life without getting enough sleep, or more importantly, enough quality sleep. And it's definitely impossible to perform at your optimal level without enough sleep or enough quality sleep. And this is something that, I've struggled with myself for a number of years, on and off, mostly good, but there's times where I know I should get enough sleep. I usually have I get into the REM cycle, the rapid eye movement cycle of deep sleep, really well. But there's times I know that I can probably stand to get another 30 to 60 minutes of sleep and benefit from that. My wife, she's the other way. She sleeps longer than I do, but she doesn't get enough quality sleep, that REM cycle. She tosses and turns, wakes up in the middle of the night, things like that. I've also heard it from, clients of mine, trouble getting to bed, waking up in the middle of the night, waking up in the morning groggy, or, worse yet, in pain. And, I've done a post on sleep in the past, but it was mostly on, how should you be sleeping, position-wise, to support the work you've done the day prior, before going to sleep, to improve your posture. Because you definitely don't want to sleep in a bad position and undo, all the good work you've done during the day, doing exercises, cueing yourself to sit properly, drive properly, read properly, watch TV properly, all with good posture, only to screw it up, by sleeping in the wrong position. So if you haven't seen that post, I'll link to it down below. It's called How Should You Be Sleeping? And I highly recommend you check it out. But there's other things that go into it, things like, your diet and just certain habits you can change to help you get a better quality of sleep, so that way you can live a better quality of life. Because, when you forego sleep, there's a lot of bad that comes with it. One, yeah, you're tired, and when you're tired, you're going to feel like not doing things you should be doing, whether they be at work, at home, doing the exercises that you find here on the website or that I've given to you if we're working together one-on-one. You're not going to do those, even though when you do them, you feel better. So that's one thing. Another is that when you're sleep deprived, your cortisol levels go up. Cortisol eats muscle tissue away, tendons, ligaments, which is going to lead to worse posture, which is going to lead to more pain. Raised cortisol levels also lead to things like chronic fatigue syndrome, weight gain, which leads to obesity. As a matter of fact, if you're 2 hours or more sleep deprived last night, you're pre-diabetic. That's how much sleep has to do with the secretion of certain hormones in your body, things like insulin and your blood sugar and glucose, and the response you have to certain foods the next day. So, it's really, really huge. Another way that I read this, I think it was a week or two ago, that really put in perspective for me is that Guinness World Records, the company that does all the world records things and reports them and everything, so they will accept entries for how many swords you can swallow, how many chainsaws you can juggle, even, how far you can jump a motorcycle over a canyon. But they no longer accept entries for sleep deprivation because they found it, get this, too dangerous. So think about that relative to all the other things I just listed. And when I read that, I was like, wow, okay, this is something we all need to improve on. And it's something over the last, I wouldn't say about a year yet, but the last 6 or more months that my wife and I have been working on. We found some things that work. We're still experimenting with some other things, but we wanted to share them with you today. So I got a list here. We'll get going because there's a lot of them. Number one is, and these are all things that are going to help you get to sleep faster, get better quality sleep, that REM cycle, deep sleep, and wake up feeling better, i.e. pain-free, but also more awake and alert and not so groggy, okay? So without further ado, bring the best aligned body into bed. I'm not going to talk a lot about this because that's what the post on How Should You Be Sleeping talks about, meaning that, yeah, do you want to have a good mattress and good pillows and all that stuff? Yeah, that's definitely somewhere not to skimp on, buy the best that you can afford, and of course the best that feels good to you. But also what makes a big difference is if you bring a body where, let's say, one shoulder's higher than the other and you're rotated, and you're like this, and you lay that into a position, a static position for 6, 7, 8 hours, heck, even if you're not sleeping that much and you're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours, and you hold that position for that long, well, how do you think you're going to wake up? All twisted and out of position and in pain. So do a few exercises before you go to bed. And I'm not talking about an hour long. This isn't a time to break out into a sweat and everything and get a good workout. But I'm saying do just enough to take the rotation of your body, start evening things out, so that way you bring the best aligned body into bed with you. All right, so that's number one. Number two is, these aren't really even numbered, so I don't know why I'm saying numbers, but is practicing some deep breathing exercises. We all know that breathing and breathing properly helps relax muscles because it feeds more blood and oxygen to your body and to your brain, and just lets a lot of tense muscles release. So something you can do also with aligning your body simultaneously is before you go to bed, just lay down in the static back position, which I'm sure if you've seen any of my other video posts, you know what that position is. But if you don't, it's lying on your back with your hips and knees at 90 degrees, basically just sit up on a chair or something. Or if you have a low enough bed, you can just put your legs up on your bed. Excuse me. And you lay in that position for 5 or 10 minutes before going to bed, and just practice breathing in and out through your nose with your diaphragm. So you're not breathing up here, you're breathing down here, and that will help you tremendously sleep better, relax, and just overall get better quality of sleep. All right. Moving on, you want to try to go to bed. This is assuming you have, you have a regular maybe 9 to 5 job or business that you run. You're not a paramedic or a firefighter or someone with one of those odd schedules where you got like a night shift or something. But if you're someone who has a kind of regular work schedule, you want to try to go to bed no later than 11 p.m. because what happens, and you've probably noticed this phenomenon, is that around 11-ish you get this kind of second wind, and that is actually a secretion of cortisol in your body. So you want to try to get to bed before that happens. Okay. Let's see. Number 3, don't have caffeine after 2 p.m. I love coffee. Actually, that's a lie. I hate coffee. I only like one coffee, and that's bulletproof coffee, but that's a whole nother post, so I digress. Anyways, try to have it earlier on the day. I mean, I definitely do not have it later than 2 p.m. because it will keep you up, all right? I know it seems kind of common sense, but I just gotta put it in there. Number 4, I think we're on 4, make your bedroom as dark as possible. I'm talking dark, to the point where really, if you hold your hand in front of your face, you can't really make it out except for some very light lines, okay? Alarm clocks, try to face them away from you or turn them off. If you got little alarms, motion sensors, put some tape over them. The darker you can get it, the better you're gonna be for it, okay? Turn off all screens 1 to 2 hours before you intend to fall asleep. Yeah, I admit, this one I'm not always so great on, but when I am, I do notice a difference. So if you're going to bed at 11, try to have screens, TVs, iPads, iPhones, all those things off 1 to 2 hours before. And the reason being is the blue and white lights, but especially blue lights that come from certain lights, especially electronic screens, the light that they emit basically, and don't exactly quote me on this, I'm not exactly even sure through the biochemistry, but it actually secretes hormones in your brain that makes you more awake. There is something you can do to help that I definitely recommend. I'm actually going to start using something called Flux, and it's an application you can download on your computer and your mobile devices that as it gets later, it'll naturally dim the screen, so it won't be so obtrusive to your eyes and to your body trying to secrete the hormones necessary to relax and go to bed. So Flux, check that out. I'll link to it down below. Let's see. You want to try to go to bed and wake up at the same time 7 days a week. I know a lot of people will get up early to go to work during the week and then try to catch up on sleep on the weekends. That just throws off your body and its circadian rhythm. So 7 days a week, that's something I know we both do really well, is we both wake up between 7 and 7:30, and we go to bed, roughly around 10:30, 11. You don't have to go to our schedule, but find one that works for you and try to stick with it 7 days a week, all right? Let's see. Ooh, Sleep Cycle app. This is one of my favorites. It is basically an app, and there's one called Sleep Cycle, and there's another called Sleep Time. I have the Sleep Time. Both are good. And basically what it does is you can set an alarm. Okay, so what I do is I set my alarm. Right now it's set for 7:30. And I put it on airplane mode because obviously I don't want all the electrical fields and stuff going by my head. And I have it plugged in, and I put it on under my pillow or next to my pillow. What it does is it uses the accelerometer and or gyrometer in there to basically keep track of your sleep, because you sleep in cycles, circadian rhythms of 90 minutes. And it can tell by how you're moving the bed when to wake you up. Now, I have my alarm set for 7:30, so it doesn't mean that it's always going to go off at 7:30. It's going to wake me up sometime between 7, but no later than 7:30. So sometimes the alarm will go off at 7:05, others at 7:21, and you'll be amazed at what a difference it makes to wake up in between sleep cycles rather than in the middle of one. Because if you wake up in the middle of one, you're going to be groggy and just want to hit the snooze and just be like, ugh. But if you wake up in between, which is what this helps you do, you wake up and you're just like, all right, I'm ready to go. And you know, it truly is amazing. And there's a little lab here, and you can track your sleep and see how it kind of gives you a score. It's really, really neat, and I highly recommend it. The alarm on it too is very gentle, so it doesn't just wake you up going It actually wakes you up very, very slowly and subtly. Cannot recommend this highly enough. Sleep Time, there's another one called Sleep Cycle. They pretty much do the same thing, so it doesn't really matter which one. Okay, so that's Sleep Cycle. As far as diet, you know, you want to, in your last meal, fill up with some good quality fats, whether they be, you know, animal fats, some grass-fed butter, coconut oil, MCT oil, which if you don't know what MCT oil is, it's an acronym for medium chain triglycerides. It's an extract of coconut and or palm oil, just certain parts of it. And it's super bioavailable to your body. So like a tablespoon of that. You can even use it as kind of a dressing on some veggies or salad when you have dinner. Very good. Some easily digestible protein. Again, sometimes, you know, we're good about that where we have something like eggs or fish. I know eggs for breakfast, but eggs are very easily digestible. You can have a small protein shake, preferably something like hydrolyzed whey protein. Again, I'll have to do a whole other post on, you know, the biochemistry of whey, hydrolyzed versus peptides versus concentrate and all that stuff. But for now, hydrolyzed protein is what I'd recommend. You can also try for some people I found this to work, is a 1 to 2 teaspoons of raw honey. Will help for some people. Supplement wise, you know, we don't do this, but I've heard and read a lot of good research, and we probably will be trying that. You want to supplement with either fish or krill oil to increase your omega-3s. Another good one is vitamin D. Not before you go to bed though, because it can interfere with your body's natural secretion of melatonin, which you don't want because then it'll keep you up. But the Vitamin D Council recommends 1,000 IU per 25 pounds of body weight. Again, this is a rough generalization. If you want to know exactly where you're at with vitamins and minerals, I recommend you get a SpectraCell test and or a Wellness FX test, and I'll link to both of those down below. Their tests, I think SpectraCell, last time I did it, ran I think 30 or 40 bucks. Wellness FX, it's a little bit more, but you get more for your money. I think they have anywhere from like $40 to $100 ones. Don't quote me exactly, but check out the websites down below. They're really cool to see where you're at in terms of vitamins, minerals, cholesterol, testosterone, and all kinds of other biomarkers. Really cool stuff if you're, you know, kind of anatomy and biochemistry geek like me. Let's see. And those are the main ones. There's one more, and this is where I'm actually going to ask you for a big favor. It's something I've been researching called a sleep induction mat. And from what research I've done, this company, Spunk, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, makes the best ones. And I'll link to it down below. Actually, you'll see it down below this video, because it's something I'm looking into. And basically what it is, it's a acupressure mat. So it looks like an oversized pillowcase, and it has these little, what they call flowers. They're not real flowers, obviously. They're little plastic flowers with little plastic prickly points. There's, I think, 6,210 of them. Let's say 6,200, we'll round off. And there's these little tiny prickly points, and you lay down on them, either bare skin, or if you're starting off with like a shirt or some light skin covering, and it basically works off the same practice as acupressure or acupuncture, which basically helps connect certain meridian points. Or if you ever saw my post on anatomy trains, kind of the anatomy trains or meridian points, and it helps trigger ones and gets more blood and oxygen to certain areas of your body, helps release tight muscles. So it has a direct effect. It literally causes pain to be relieved, but it also helps your body secrete endorphins and oxytocin, those feel-good hormones, to help you sleep better. And the way you use it is you lay on it. You can lay it on your back, you can sit on it, you can put your feet on it. So there's multiple uses for it, and I'm looking into how I might integrate it into some of the exercise, especially something like static back, where you're laying on your back anyways for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Why not include this into it? And you can be doing both simultaneously. And so by laying on this spoon mat, your body's relaxing, endorphins, oxytocin's flowing, you feel good, and you lay in it for, I believe it's 20 or 30 minutes or more, and then you go to bed and you sleep better, and you wake up feeling more refreshed. And you can actually even use it in the morning to kind of, not exactly as a cup of coffee, but it'll again get more blood and oxygen going through your body, and just tap into those meridian points. So if you ever had acupuncture or acupressure and benefit from it, this is a way to kind of bring it home and do it for yourself. And you can even use it as a little pick-me-up throughout the day, because they have another one, well, you can use the big one, or they have a smaller one that you can stand on, whether you're sitting at a desk, put your feet on, or if, like I do most of the time, I'm standing at a desk, and you can stand on and kind of walk your feet back and forth, and it helps release tension in your feet and throughout your body. So it's a really cool thing. I did a small write-up of it down below. There's a link to Spunk's website, so I highly recommend you check it out. And what I'm asking, from you is that if you have benefited in some way or form from these video posts that I've been putting out for, I guess now a little bit over a year, and some people have written me saying that, just the free content that's out there, whether it's a 30-second video I put out or a blog post or something like that, that they've really benefited from, it's changed their life, it's got them out of pain, all those things. I love to hear, if you can donate, whatever you can, I would really, really appreciate it. I'll basically run this all out of pocket. I do offer services like you see, but there's a lot of products, services, and continuing education that, I've definitely been taking and want to continue taking to improve, always improve, looking to improve the content that I put out here. And, $50 here, $100 here, $200 here, $500, $1,000, it adds up. So again, if you have benefited from one of these posts, and you wouldn't mind donating, I would really appreciate it, just to help offset the cost. And because I really want to make thepostureguy.com, this isn't just my site, it's yours. In the future, in other products or services or continuing education, I want to get your input as far as, things you think I should check out, things that you can help, the other posture guys and gals that I can do a review on and everything. The Spunk just happens to be one that I've been researching for quite a while. And, if you can donate a few bucks towards, me purchasing it, testing it out, and then writing up not only a review of it for you guys, but also how you can integrate it into your lives and also use it with some of the exercise routines that I've already, put out there. I would really, really appreciate it, all right? And if you don't, that's fine too. I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing this and putting out awesome content for you guys every day because, I love doing it. But any help you can provide would be very, very much appreciated, all right? Anyways, thanks for joining me today. I know it's kind of a lengthy one, but as always, I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys inside the next video. All right, until then, take care and sleep tight.